Here we go. My face is glowing in a very awkward way. Oh, that looks a lot better, sort of. Hi, friends. I'm back. All right, first things first. I bought this yesterday. My local bookstore does this thing called blind date with a book. They wrap up a book in brown paper, so I don't know what it is. Yes, this absolutely was an impulse buy. So I bought this one because it says juvenile fiction. That means it's for children. Siblings/twins. I think that's probably the main reason I bought it. I was kind of secretly hoping it was a Gravity Falls novel. Alex Hirsch. Is it really too much to ask for a season 3? And then it says adventure, grief, and ghosts. So I'm gonna open it at the end of the video. Let's get to the important bit. So I just finished reading this. I know you can't really see it because the light sucks. This is ZEROES by Scott Westerfeld. Yep. Margot Lanigan and Deborah Biancotti. All right. Quick synopsis. ZEROES is a YA science fiction novel. It's about 5 kids who all have these powers. And their powers kind of suck, which is why they call themselves Zeros. They found each other, they decided to work together as a team and go on these missions to train each other and make their powers better if they can. So we have Ethan, aka Scam, Shazara, aka Crash, Riley, aka Flicker, Tebow, aka Anonymous. I had to Google Tebow's name to make sure I was pronouncing it right. It's spelled like this.
Tebow.
Okay, I was right. It's Tebow. And Nate, aka Bellwether, aka Glorious Leader. He's so cool, he gets 2 nicknames. So the 5 have been going on these training missions, but it's all been fake. They've never had to do anything real. Until Ethan gets himself in a tricky situation with some drug dealers, you know, like you do. And he needs his friends to help him get him out of it. And they do because they're good friends, even though their friend is an idiot. Along the way, surprise, they meet another Zero, Kelsey, aka Mob. Her dad is also in a situation with some drug dealers, because he's an idiot too. The other 5 decide to help Kelsey if she agrees to join their team. Some of the themes of this book include friendship, self-discovery. There are some swears in this book, so it's kind of for a mature audience, but not really. Like, not really. Alright, so here are my thoughts. I absolutely loved the characters. The way that they handled their powers was just so realistic. It's like if you've ever wanted that novel where people have superpowers, but the powers are crap. This is the book. And it's like they're just teenagers trying to figure out how to work their powers, same way any other teenager is trying to figure out just life. Also, the fact that they didn't get along with each other for most of the time was entertaining for me. I just love it when characters don't get along. But you could see their progression towards the end of the book as they learned how to work with each other as a team and how to work with their powers instead of against them. Just seeing that character progression, that just made me super happy. Like, that's what I love about this book. You see a bunch of YA novels about like superheroes, they use like the same powers. The powers that these kids have are so original and they borderline just suck. Like, they're cool powers, but if you ask me if I wanted any of these powers, I would say no. They're just kind of a burden to these kids, and they have to learn how to use them to the best of their ability. So as far as characters goes, I stuck with this book because of the characters. So now let's talk about the plot. As far as the plot goes, I was not super happy about it. The beginning had me hooked. The beginning was super suspenseful, and it had me asking a lot of questions, like in a good way. The end of the book was ridiculous. The end was like action movie, high-paced scenes. Like, it was crazy. Like, I feel like I was watching an action movie. I was staying up so late the other night trying to get to the end of this book to see if they were gonna succeed. I don't want to give out spoilers yet. This is the non-spoiler portion of the video. I'm just gonna say the stakes were pretty high. So the beginning was great, the ending was great, the middle, not so much. I felt like it was just dragging on for a really long time. I was kind of waiting for things to happen. They kept talking about the threat, they kept talking about the stakes, like, oh, we gotta do this thing or the big scary thugs are gonna come get us. And I'm just sitting here like, I haven't seen any big scary thugs yet. I guess I was just expecting more action within the middle of the book rather than just in the ending, because there was a lot of action in the ending. There should have been more. If there was more action like that in the middle of the book, I would not have been able to put the book down. Overall, I'm in the middle of the book and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not really loving it. But then I get to the end and I'm hooked, and now I need to read the next one. The journey that these kids have been on has just sucked me in, regardless of how slow the plot was. I don't have a choice now. I have to keep reading. I just have to. I've gotten too attached. So overall, characters were well written. Beginning sucked me in. The plot was a little slow in the middle, but the ending was a crazy action movie scene that blew me away. It's funny, it's action-packed, it's emotional, it's just great. So if you want to read this book for yourself to see what you think about it, I looked at the reviews for this book on Goodreads. A lot of other people also had mixed feelings about it. So if you would like to read this book for yourself, you can go ahead and click on the link below and you can order it online. I'm now going to be talking about spoilers. So if you haven't read the book, then you can go ahead and click out of this video right now. If you're fine with spoilers, keep watching. Alright, it's rant time. Okay, so here was my issue with the plot. The way that it was set up, it starts in the middle of our character's timeline. They have already met each other. Something went down between them that split them up as a group. We did not get to witness that moment, unfortunately. We don't really know what went on. Ethan said some stupid shit and everyone got mad at him. And then we meet Kelsey and she gets initiated into the group. I think that was a very interesting choice. Like, I see them trying to start off like at the action-y part of the story, but I feel like there are so many ways they could have gone about with the plot to make it even better, to be honest. I don't think it was the best choice as far as where they started with the story. As a writer, I'm always reading books and like thinking, how could this have been done better? If this book were to be rewritten, the whole plot would have been done differently. I would like to see an alternative plot where the Zeroes all meet up for the first time. I would have liked to see that. I think that getting to see the characters realize that there are others like themselves for the first time, that would have been great to see. That would have been great character development. Because Kelsey goes through this when she meets the group, like the origin story of their friend group, that would have been sick. Maybe some crazy chain of events brings them all together. Nate suggests these training sessions. Their first one isn't successful. Then we get into the issue with the drug dealers. They all wonder, like, oh, should we do this because their training wasn't successful? But they try anyways. And then Ethan does that thing where he insults everybody and everybody gets pissed off at him. And then Kelsey and Ethan almost die and then they get saved and so on. That is how I would have liked to see the story go. I think it would have been so much more interesting. I would have been so much more hooked if that was how the story started. Reading this book, I was mostly just watching them decide if they were gonna save Kelsey's dad or not, and I got bored. And that's another thing. Let's talk about Kelsey's dad for a minute. I kind of hated this guy a little, and not in a good way. He had absolutely no personality. The only thing I know about him was that he got himself into some deep shit. But Kelsey still loves him anyways. I wish there was some point where Kelsey regrets trying to save her dad. Kelsey literally risks her life to try to get her dad out of this bad situation. But I don't remember Dad trying very hard to stop her. Kelsey, I'm sorry. I'm a failure of a father. Hey Dad, I know I'm only 16, but I'm gonna collect a ton of money to pay off the goons that want to kill us, because you're obviously not capable of doing that yourself. Okay, but make sure you're home by 8. I just think there was too much of nothing in the relationship. Every time Dad apologizes and Kelsey says it's okay, I wanted to vomit. I don't mind that Kelsey loves her father. I don't mind that the father gotten himself into a little jam. Nobody's perfect. All I'm saying is that I would have liked to have seen a little more strain, like a little more conflict in the relationship. Their dad needs to put a little bit of more effort into trying to stop her from saving him, because that's a stupid move for a child. Or Kelsey needs to show more anger towards dad for getting himself in that situation in the first place and not being capable of getting himself out of it. Alright, enough about Kelsey. Let's talk about some other characters. I'm thirsty. Chizara is a badass. I honestly love everything about Chizara. That one moment in the end when she turned off the bombs with her freaky mind powers and turns toward the crowd, punches the air and says, "Not gonna happen, suckers." I put the book down. I was like, yes, queen. Yeah, Chizara's great. Probably my favorite. Actually, wait a minute. I think Ethan might be my favorite. He was getting a lot of hate on Goodreads, and people have every reason to hate Ethan. He's an idiot. He's just really stupid. Honestly, my favorite characters are those ones where you can't tell if you're supposed to like them or not. Yeah, Ethan can be a dingus sometimes. He's not always thinking with his whole brain. And there is a lot of animosity towards him because of what happened that one summer, which I still think should have been a full chapter, just saying. But you can tell that he's really trying his best. He knows where he forked up, and he's doing the best that he can to amend for his mistakes, even if he doesn't know how to do that. I love those characters who aren't morally perfect, but they're trying their best. I see you, Ethan. I see you trying your best. Also, can we talk about Tebow for a moment? Tebow has the most tragic backstory. He almost died in a hospital because literally everyone forgot he existed. That's fucking terrifying and sad. It definitely says a lot about Tebow's character, but I have some problems with it. I wish it was revealed to us much later in the story. I think that the harrowing backstory would have delivered a much bigger punch if it was left as a mystery and then revealed to us later in the story. Which is why we should have been able to see that argument go down between Ethan and the rest of them. It would have been dramatic AF. More of me explaining why this book had potential that it just did not deliver. I'm trying not to bash this book. I try so hard to be positive sometimes. I really think that this book was good. I just think that there are so many ways that it could have been better, and this is the only place where I can vent about it. Alright, but yeah, overall thoughts. What can I say? I'm gonna go find the second one and I'm gonna read it. It was good. It was a good book. I had some issues with it, but not enough issues to not continue reading the series. I just like the way that these three authors took this trope of superhero kids that has been used so many times, and they took a different spin on it. Like, it's real. It's truthful. The idea that every power has a price was delivered fully. I think it was a good book. If you've read this book, please, please, please tell me what you thought about it in the comments. I would like to know. If your opinion was different than mine, I want to know what it was. I want to know what you thought of it. Okay, so enough talking about that. It's time to open her up. Let's see what we got here. This is like Christmas. Ooh, okay. This is interesting. I have never heard of this book before. Dennis Ever After by Tony Abbott. Oh gosh, I can already tell this is gonna be super sad. Goodbye isn't forever. Oh gosh. Does a twin die? Okay, so a twin brother is already dead. F that. Oh, he comes back. There's some paranormal going down. I'm excited for this. If you have read this before, tell me if it's good. It looks good. I think it's gonna be good. So that is the end of this video. If you like this review, give it a like, subscribe, share it, all that stuff. Ring the notification bell because I have no uploading schedule. I will see you later. Bye.